Hello everybody, today I'm going to share with you some new Salvage locations that I have recently gone to. The first is, well actually not the first. The first one that I went to was something new. It is, I believe, called Earthwise Architectural Salvage, and I think they go to like older houses and things like that are going to get renovated or torn down and salvage the antique or vintage pieces of the building and then of course resell them. So they know what things are worth, and some of the prices on some of the things are absolutely outrageous. But I can understand because they're nice antique pieces of a home. So I went to one of their locations in Tacoma, and then I went to a second location in Seattle, and I also visited while in Tacoma the second use building material place that they also have down there. They have two locations. I just never got around to getting to the one in Tacoma. I always forgot about it for some reason. So let's go ahead and take a look first at the Earthwise Salvage place in Tacoma, and then we'll take a look at the second use place that is there as well. It's not as good as the one in Seattle. And then after that, we'll take a look at the one in Seattle for the Earthwise salvage place. I did pick up something pretty cool at the one in Tacoma and some other things at a restore that I also forgot was going to be in this video. So that'll be at the very end, and then I'll share with you all the things that I picked up. So here we are at the Earthwise place, and they don't have music playing in the background, so you get to hear all the random noises of this store, which there aren't really any, but there's plenty of cool things to look at. Now, as I may have mentioned before, it's a lot of older things that I'm sure they get out of buildings that are going to be renovated, updated, or demolished. So it's all kinds of really cool older fixtures, anything from residential lighting to outdoor industrial lighting. For example, this Hall of Fame light there, like they knew what that thing was worth. It was like $100 some. This other light over here that I think I will show, that thing right there, I believe is low pressure sodium. And I think it was used in like dark rooms or something like that. But it is a low pressure sodium light nonetheless. I didn't open it up. I didn't look at how much it was, but maybe I'll have to look at it again another time. But I'm sure it's a pretty penny, compared to all the other things around here that are also a pretty penny. That ceiling fan is kind of random to see here because it is modern compared to all of the other things that they have. I think those are from like a gas station, the lights that they have on the canopy. So those look like some of the lights that would have a ballast, and then they would hang from the ballast compartment. I think I'm just going to take a wild guess. Maybe they're made by Hall of Fame. They seem to make all those, glass refractor-looking fixtures. Some really cool old clocks, and this really cool old floodlight. It's on some type of a base. And some mercury vapor and high pressure sodium bulbs. Here I'm trying to move the camera around a little slower compared to a lot of the other places that I do. Most of the places that I move the camera around so fast, it's because there's just so many people, but I'll definitely try my best to slow the camera movement down the best I can. Here we are at the second use building material place that they have. As you can see, the variety of things here is a lot less compared to the location in Seattle. Here is a 70-watt high-pressure sodium adapter thing. It looks like something that would be in a post-top fixture for some reason, but it looks like you could put it on a electrical box. I would have picked it up if it was 35 watt or 50, but I don't have a use for it. But for $2, it's pretty cool. This floodlight is also really cool, but they also wanted a pretty penny for that thing. Here are some Saturn ring fixtures. These things are awesome to find. If I had a place to put one, I definitely would pick one up but again, I'm sure the price of them is another pretty penny. Looks like that one still has its original silver bulb in it. Here we are at the Earthwise location in Seattle. The first one was in Tacoma. This place is the oldest of all of them, according to the staff. There's all kinds of really cool things here again. There's a metal halide floodlight, nothing too special about it, though. All kinds of old and antique fixtures. That's a nice Circle Line fixture. I thought maybe it was for a 40-watt version as well because of the bulb below it, but it wasn't. It's a 32-watt only. I like all these old sconces. Pretty cool. Look at that old bulb in one of them. Ooh, that's nice. The old ceiling fixtures. All that stuff is so awesome. And there's some high-intensity discharge bulbs, and we will take a look at them here in a second. So here are the bulbs. This one is a Philips 400-watt Mercury Vapor. Looks like it's brand new too. Pretty nice. Here's a GE 400-watt Mercury Vapor. It's a newer one. It's not so new that it's made in China, but it is newer. A Sylvania metal halide bulb. Let's see, 400 watt. It's position oriented there with the curved arc tube and the pin on the base. And then we have two Westinghouse high pressure sodium bulbs. These are really old, kind of cool to see, especially with that etch on top. So some very early high pressure sodium bulbs here. And there's some more in the corner. Here is their clearance lighting section, according to them. They had some high bays there. They were $45 a piece versus the inside ones, which were $100. Now, I don't know where they get the prices for those things because they're literally getting thrown away by the dozen. And here we are at the restore. So I picked up those 3 bulbs there, and of course got to look through the random box of incandescents. And there's something neat here at the bottom, that little pink bulb. I picked that one up because it's obviously not American. So that's a nice addition to the collection. I later found out that the filament broke on it, probably from getting tossed around over its journey to America here. But it's still cool enough for a video at least. All of these bulbs are 50 cents unless they're otherwise marked. That's usually how it is at these stores. More random incandescents in this box. This is the same place that I found the European flame bulb, but they were all gone, so somebody must have came and picked them up. And here's one last shot. This is a cool bulb. It's 85 watt, replaces 100. Okay, so these are the things that I picked up. We'll go ahead and start with these 2 bulbs right here, because they're the most interesting out of the finds. These are both Philips 400 watt Mercury Vapor floodlight bulbs. I picked them up, as you could tell, at the Earthwise place in Tacoma for $5 a piece. They were using them as decorating pieces rather than bulbs that could be used again. So that's why they were so cheap, probably, because everything else there, they seem to know what the prices of it was. But for $5 a piece, yeah, I'll pick these up. They're awesome. So this is the only one that still has an etch on it. And I'll focus on this here because then it's easier to focus on the etch. And there it is, Philips Deluxe White Clean Beam Reflector. And it's code and then USA with some date code there, which is unfortunately kind of rubbed off, but maybe it's still readable. So yeah, that is the etch on the bulb. This thing is absolutely massive. Let's see here. So there's my hand for comparison on the bulb. I believe it's G, or not G, that's for glow bulbs. It's 6D in size or something bigger than that. I can't remember. Oh, R. R is for reflector. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. It's R or BR60, something to that nature. But it's 60, I believe. They're both the exact same thing. This one doesn't have an etch on it for what I could find, but they're both also brand new. Now inside you can see the white phosphorus coating that is in there. It's very light. You can kind of see it on the top of the bulb as well. Here you can kind of see some of the streak marks from it. But according to what I understand, of course, the mercury vapor from the arc tube, the light that is produced hits the phosphor, and that's how they get the white light, instead of having the phosphor right on the end of the bulb here, you know, coating this whole thing in phosphor. They only put it on the reflector inside. However, some of the newer versions of this particular bulb that I see by Philips online, they do coat the front of it in the white phosphor as well. So maybe this was an older design where they put it only on the reflective surface inside. I'm not too sure. But really cool design. Of course, I like the little bump on it there. That's very iconic of these mercury vapor bulbs. Brand new. I'll have to get a ballast from home to test it sometime. But yeah, they're in great condition. They definitely will work. Moving on, we have these things that I picked up from the Restore. We'll start with this. It's a little tiny refrigerator and oven appliance bulb from Mexico. So everything's in Spanish. But it says Mexico there, and so that's my best guess at where it has come from. Really cool. Unfortunately, it's burned out. It's not burned out. The filament fell off or broke. So I don't know what is up with that. But for 50 cents, it's neat enough to pick up and do a little video of. I found some more of these GE showcase lamps like I found at some other Restores. They're clear. Really cool. They're made in Mexico, so they're more modern than the older ones that I've shown before. And then I picked up 6 of these Fiat Electric 22 watt PL preheat fluorescent bulbs. So there's 6 of them here. And what they're used for is actually this right here. And when I first got this light, which I do have a video of on my channel, it didn't have a bulb, so I had to order one online. But they're kind of getting harder to find, so finding those for 50 cents a piece at the Restore was a great deal. So I have one of them inside of this light currently. And it works really well. The ballast is very quiet with it. And sometimes it's blink happy, but this time it's been on for a while. So it's not as blink happy. So those are the things I picked up. Anyway, I really do hope you enjoyed this video today. I enjoy making these for you and exploring these new Salvage and Restores and all that kind of stuff. It's always fun to go and take a look at these places and to see what there is to find. Sometimes I find things, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I find things that are really cool and I don't pick them up, don't really have the space or the need for them, but I always enjoy sharing it with all of you. Once again, I do hope you enjoyed, and also please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. And thank you very much for watching.